Tune in this week as Shad and Danny walk you through the latest Bronco news.
Hey there, Bronco fans. It's Chad, Danny. It's Bronco Planet, and Chad, it's bye-week time and purgatory for a lot of us.
Yes, it's nice to come up, get a deep breath, kind of do a little inventory, see how you're doing compared to last year, and spend some time with our favorite alumni. So we're going to do all of that on this show.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's start it off with, how about the offense? Compared to last year, what do you think we said?
Completely different than last year's offense. You know, we led the league last year in rushing as we did everything we could to prevent Tim Tebow from throwing a pass. Let him try and win it at the end, and we really relied upon, you know, Prater and Colquitt to really save the day. We're kind of our MVPs last year, along with Tim Tebow. So this year, completely different. The Broncos ranked 6th in the NFL in total offense, which is a huge improvement. And most of that due to Peyton freaking Manning, ranked 2nd in passing offense, the 2nd-rated quarterback by just a little smidgen behind Aaron Rodgers. So the Peyton Manning gamble at this point has really paid off for John Elway. There's people talking MVP. And here's some of the things I'm really liking about the Broncos offense so far, Danny. Variety.
Oh, yeah.
There are 5 Denver Broncos currently with 3 touchdowns. You got both your starting receivers with 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. Stokely with the 3 touchdowns. You got Willis McGahee and also Joel Dreesen. So 5 different targets with 3 touchdowns each. We have the only NFL combination of starting receivers that are ranked in the top 20. You got, I think, Thomas coming in around 8th, and we got Decker like 13th. So
history has shown that any Peyton Manning team, there's always been balance. He's always spread the ball out around. And you make a very good point. Yardage, total yards, when you look at just the receiving corps, very, very close, very, very equal. Same with the touchdowns. They're kind of all over the board. How do you, and that's a part of what Peyton Manning does, and what makes him so special is if you get too locked in on one guy, what happens? They lock him down. You start spreading the ball around, and then it's just a coin toss. Then it's a guessing game. If you want to lock down Thomas, we're going to go to Decker. You want to go to Decker, we're going to go to Dreesen. So it's that balance, I think, is the huge difference between last year and this year.
Now, where we are lacking balance, I think, is a little bit in the first half. Now, I get it. If you're playing an NFL team that's ranked near the bottom in rush defense, then you may want to give McGahee some carries. Who, by the way, it's part of that balance. He's ranked 13th in the NFL in rushing. But I think what's really the Achilles heel of the Denver Broncos right now is their conservative play calling in the first half. And all you got to do is rewind that DVR and watch the first half of that San Diego game, and you got 7 or rushes for 5 yards. You're always putting Peyton Manning
3 and out.
Yes, or long passing situations on 2nd, 3rd down. It's not a good situation. Now, here's what you have to do. You have to make that mind switch there, John Fox. You have to become a pass first, then run. When the Broncos spread it out, pass first, and ran in the second half, you see McGahee getting the yards that you're going to get your rushing yards. You just have to switch things around. If you fix that, you look at all the games that we've lost against very, very good teams, Danny, it's because we ran out of time. We were too conservative, and then we just couldn't get it done at the end.
You know, every offensive coordinator, every head coach likes to script plays at the beginning of the game. And I think you bring up a good point. Throw that out the window. Just say, Peyton, go up there, see what you see, read the defense, call the play at the line of scrimmage, and let's just step out, that first series the right way instead of McGahee up the middle. Oh, McGahee up the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 3rd and long. You throw 8 yards, you get a little short, and then you're punting. You know, I 100% agree with you. And when you look at Denver's rushing stats, you said our rush offense right now ranked 20th. Well, when you're playing from behind, you're not going to see a lot of rushing.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the last thing I'd like for the offense, and we'll let you talk a little bit about our defense. I think we have to make some changes with personnel, all right? In the Oakland game, we saw a reverse to Andre Caldwell. He is a playmaker, very speedy, coming off an injury. I think he's going to be great. And Ronnie Hillman, we've got to figure out how do we get more flare passes, more reverses, more, you know, sweeps. I know we haven't done sweeps in a long time. How do you get Ronnie Hillman more in the game plan? What I'm over at this point, enough of Matt Willis, enough of Lance Ball, and please no more Manny Ramirez. So good to have Chris Cooper back. Well, which leads me to my final point on the offensive line. I think is doing just a tremendous job. I think Clady back to all-pro form. He did have a lot of penalties last year, the first half of the year. Yeah, you know, has been playing really good. Zane Beadle's one of the most improved linemen in all of the NFL. I thought J.D. Walton was doing a fine job, and obviously Dan Copen comes in and does a tremendous job. And Orlando Franklin may be the most underrated offensive tackle in all the NFL. So really feeling good about the offense. I think this is an offense that could win a Super Bowl.
Okay, I would actually
at least get you there.
Yeah, well, and a lot of it has to do with exactly what you talked about. How you getting off on those first 30 minutes, and then obviously on the other side of the ball, the defense. Now, last year, the Broncos didn't exactly put up a whole lot of points from week to week to week with Tim Tebow and that offense. About halfway through the season, all of a sudden our defense comes alive, keeps the game close, keeps their opponents under 20 points. That keeps Denver at least in the ball game, you know, with the Tim Tebow come from behind wins. Here we are a year later, Shad. What was a 20th ranked defense last year is now a 7th ranked defense this year. Now, that sounds real good. You know, we've sprinkled a little, you know, pixie dust and fluff on it, but there are a couple of things that are pretty alarming. First things first, though, I want to give a little prop, a little courtesy clap to Jack Del Rio. Guy comes in and says, hey, we're going to have a top 10 defense. We're ranked number 7. We're at the break. And
so far, so good.
So far, so good. The alarming stat about this whole thing, and it's something when you compare both years, doesn't really stand out, but it really stands out a lot this year for one big reason, and that's 3rd down conversions, getting off the field and getting Peyton Manning back on the field again. Denver ranked dead last in that category on 3rd down conversion. Now, when we look at our 3 losses this year, what did it come down to? Peyton Manning not having the ball at the last time.
Get him the ball.
And it was the Denver D not being able to get off the field on 3rd down. That is a huge, huge Achilles heel right now with the Denver defense, and something I think obviously is being addressed. You know, John Fox is no dummy. You know, believe me, he knows that the Broncos need to play for 60 minutes. He realizes what's going on with the defense, especially in 3rd down, and he's you know, one of the big challenges that I still think that he has is our play at the safety position. Yeah,
we've definitely mentioned that a lot. I think if you look at the break, you'll see. But
it's a broken record.
Raheem Moore and Mike Adams, 0 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions, and we're seeing better play from guys like Harrison and Carter.
Right.
So yes, and I'm so glad you brought it up. When you're dead last in third down conversion, holding that on, you know, I think 45.6%.
That's bad.
Of the time they're converting on your defense. Jack Rio's got to go back during the bye week, maybe scratch a little of the family plans and figure that out.
Right. Well, there was a little bit of tweak at the middle linebacker position. Joe Mays, friend of the show, we love Joe Mays, sat it out last week as a starter in the middle linebacker position. You're bringing a longtime vet in Keith Brooking. Thought he actually did pretty good job. How long, you know, does this have legs? Who knows? You know, time will tell to see if that'll be. I still think you bring Mays in on 3rd down. I still think he's obviously a big contributor, but, you know, it's the broken record. It's the wicker time with the safety position and the position at middle linebacker. Who knows? You know, the trade deadline's been extended by the NFL. Does Denver do something crazy and maybe bring in a name safety or a name middle linebacker?
Yeah, I think you do it if there's somebody of that caliber out there. If you're going to get what you have, then why waste the time and go
through
who
do you give up? No Sean Marino. That's a good point.
Hey,
that's a hell of a good point,
Well,
Chad.
I think you can get a box of Twinkies for him, but I don't know what else you're going to get for him.
Well, anytime you're trying to upgrade this position, or is it right back to square one again in a draft next year and you're drafting young safeties? I mean, we've got a ton of young guys, right?
Yep, we got a ton
of young guys. And then a veteran.
Yeah, a good mix, I think. So that's we can't talk defense without the big boys up front. What about how's Voom and Doom doing so far?
Oh, my goodness. You know, every time the Broncos get out and these guys can pin their ears back, good things happen. One thing that when Del Rio said, "Hey, we're going to have a top 10 defense," you just think, "Oh yeah, okay, we're going to do good," and Von Doom are going to kill it, and they're killing it. You've got Miller and Elvis right now, top 10 in sacks in the league. You've got a guy like Wolf, who I love to death. Also on that list, not quite top 10, but he's still putting pressure on the quarterback. He's forcing the play out. These guys are making the plays on the on the outside coming in. Ask Phillip Rivers what he thinks of Von Doom.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Good things happen. Once again, even more. We're putting it all together right here for nothing, folks.
Right.
Go out, attack at the beginning, you get ahead, then those guys can do that the whole game instead of just a fourth quarter. So if there's a theme to this is don't be conservative, start off stronger, then let Voom and Doom go at them, and those guys will have, those guys
I got a steak. Every week I have a steak dinner bet with Shad that it's McGahee up the middle from the first play. And you know how many steak dinners I'm into this guy right now? Yeah.
More than you will ever be able to
6.
afford.
Yeah. 6. So, and this, it's just absolutely crazy. But good things are coming. I would like to see maybe, and maybe this is not the popular thing because we're having so much problem at the safety position, a little more Jim Leonard.
Yeah, Jim Leonard, I think, pulled away a nice interception. Yes, I think so. Yeah,
he's never out of position.
Yes.
He's not the fastest guy on the field. He's not the most. He's not a Lynch, so to speak. But he's never out of position. He's never 10 yards behind a tight end.
You are no John Lynch, sir. But no, absolutely. So I think we sum it up pretty good. I think as Bronco fans, you can be pretty excited. You have a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. You got leaders across the board. Peyton Manning second. You got top 10 in sacks. You got top 20 in a couple of your receivers. Right. You put it all together.
And dead nuts last on third down. That's a big one. You fix that. And honestly, you fix that. That may have been 1, maybe 2 wins to Denver's 3-3 record right now. You fix that in the second half of this season, big things are going to happen for the Broncos. Even a guy like Mike Kliss is talking 12-4 now.
Wow, man, that would be awesome. All right, speaking of awesome,
I believe I said the same thing too.
Yes, well, let's see. Well, you did say it. We got it all on tape.
Yeah, Kliss is all over my jock on this one.
But here's what we have to do, folks. We're gonna roll off. Speaking of awesome, to one of our Bronco Planet favorites. And Tony had a chance earlier this year to spend some time with some of our favorite alumni. We're talking Atwater, Smith. Floyd Little, and Mark Jackson from The Drive, and she's going to get some experiences and share some memories, a little walk down memory lane, if you will, and we'll just let it go out. We'll let Tony take it out, and we look forward to seeing you after the bye week and hope you enjoy a little alumni time. Never forget those great legends of Bronco lore.
See you next week.
So Mile High is such a huge part of Broncos country. Can you give us one specific event that happened at Mile High in that stadium that sticks out in your mind?
Well, there's several. I had a Floyd Little Day in 1972. I got a proclamation done by the governor and the president of the United States. And I think my fondest memory is the last game I played in Mile High when the fans rushed the field and carried me off the field. That was very memorable. And when they had a Floyd Little Day, when everybody came out to support that, we played the Cleveland Browns, we beat them. And for me, all of the games I played in Mile High was memorable, but the 2 most memorable was Floyd Little Day and the last game I played in Mile High Stadium. They were the most memorable.
What is one of your most favorite memories and something you guys always happen to talk about when you get together?
I think that the first time we knew we were headed to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
1977 for me, and we beat the Oakland Raiders in a championship game at home in front of our fans. And I remember the sense of relief in the locker room that we were getting ready to take this tremendous step going to the Super Bowl, and it brings back a very pleasant memory.
Could you give us a memory and tell us what it was like playing with Dennis Smith?
Oh man, it was a lot of fun playing with Dennis Smith. He's one of the hardest hitters of all time. I know a lot of people say, well, Steve, you hit hard, but you want to know hard. Dennis, he probably hit 2 or 3 times as hard as I hit. So I learned a lot from him, and it was really an honor to play with him.
Absolutely. And along those lines, do you have a specific Broncos memory that sticks out in your mind, a game or something that happened?
For me, the biggest moment was, you know, one of the last plays, our defensive plays, when we were playing against the Green Bay Packers, where John Mobley knocked the ball down. Brett Favre was throwing to Mark Chmura, the tight end, and John Mobley knocked the ball down and looked up at the clock and realized that we won the game. So I still get chills thinking about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could you tell us one of your fondest memories of playing for the Broncos? I know there's many.
Fondest memory? I've never ranked them. I'm not sure what my fondest memory really is. That there's tons of them. My rookie year, there was the first game playing against the Raiders, and coming out and seeing just a sea of orange and blue was awesome. At the end of that season, the AFC Championship game, being able to be a part of that drive and very important part of that drive. So that was awesome. And then that's the first year. So if I go through the next 7, there's tons of, you know, incredible opportunity to play in the NFL. So it was all great for me. I had a ton of fun.
We spoke with your teammate earlier, Steve Atwater, about some of his memories playing with you. So can you give a few words about playing with him?
Well, I feel like I watched him grow, you know, like from a young, stiff kid to a awesome pro, you know, and that's the pleasure I get in watching him. And I was hoping he would get in the Hall of Fame this year because he was there, and he exemplifies everything there is in a pro athlete. And you know, he's one of my favorite people, and probably the biggest hitter next to me.
Yeah, next to you.
Yeah.